Yoro Kato, welcome to another edition of the Hot Air Sports Podcast. It's been a while since the last one, but there's plenty to get through. And right beside me here, I've got my good mate Mahona. How are you today, Aaron?
I'm good, mate. I'm good because the sun is shining. I'm in a golden glow. And we've just had the Olympics, haven't we? We haven't spoken for so long.
I
We've had the
know.
whole Olympics. And New Zealand was basking in a golden glow, weren't they, mate?
They certainly
For
were.
2 or 3 weeks. What
I
an
did.
Olympics!
Sorry?
What an Olympics! How
What an
fantastic was
Olympics
it?
indeed. Just some unbelievable athletes coming from this country. And I mean, right at the top of the list, Lisa Carrington. Just what
Ah,
a machine.
hey, get it right, Dame Lisa Carrington.
Of course.
Dame Lisa Carrington.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah, man, what a machine. Absolutely. She's just unbeatable. She's like you say, machine-like.
Yeah,
Yeah, just fantastic. I mean,
I
I
did.
just, yeah.
I did feel a bit sorry for Amy Fisher. Uh,
Oh, man, that was so
Worked so
sad.
hard, been through so much, and just
And afterwards, her emotions spilled over, and that was what
oh
the Olympics is all about. I mean, I think for me, it was just all our athletes, whether they won, lost, or draw, whatever happened to them, the interviews afterwards, you're just like, man, what a credit to the youth of this country.
yeah,
We give the youth a whole bunch of shit, don't we, man? We're always saying, oh, they're always on their phones and they're complaining. They want to start as CEO. Well, these were kids. Well, we could say kids because we're
yeah,
of that age. These were people that really just made me proud, made me so bloody proud to be a Kiwi. And
yep,
as far as numbers go, best Olympics ever. France put it on in their own French way with
yep.
upsetting the Christians at the opening ceremony, and who knows who else with the way they did it with their French flair. I loved it, man. I absolutely loved it. It started with the girl. Well, a lot of Manawahini
Yeah,
represent, man. It started with the girls in the sevens.
yep.
That was absolutely fantastic result. The men didn't do quite so well, but I thought they were a little bit unlucky to play the same
It was
team twice.
yeah. I don't quite understand why there's only 12 teams in the
No,
competition, and then you have a top eight. It's a
yeah.
bit like the Super Rugby where eight qualify from 12.
Yeah, it was strange, considering we beat the South Africans in pool play and then we have to play them again first. Yeah, why aren't they on the other side of the draw? Anyway, whatever. And then there was a gold in the rowing, wasn't there? The Brooke
Yep.
Francis and Lucy Spores and the double sculls. That was sort of unexpected, and they were amazing. Both mothers,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
fantastic to see that. And then Finn Butcher, the butcher in the kayaking, which was one of the sports that I never thought I'd see at the Olympics. I mean, I've never seen anything like it, where they're jumping off basically a two-story
Yeah.
building to start. That was amazing.
Well, that was a new thing because they previously had the rapids, the
Yeah.
in the thing, but they'd never had that canoe sprint.
No. No.
And my good friend, my former Baseball New Zealand colleague, Pandy Fruin, is CEO of Canoe Sprint New Zealand. So
Sure.
well done, Pandy. Great result for Finn. And also I think Luca Jones, that was her fifth Olympics
Yeah.
that she's
Yeah.
been to. So great longevity in that sport. And long may we see Finn the Butcher continue on his golden way in future years. So
Go the
congratulations,
Butch.
Pandy.
And then there was one of the highlights for me, one of the athletes of that. I mean, you said Dane Lisa Carrington was your highlight. For me, it was Elise Andrews. We've got an absolute new superstar on I mean, 2 gold medals in cycling events, which is like, one of the, so blue ribbon events at the Olympics. She is an absolute stone cold killer. And the way she looked at her
Oh,
opponents, the stare
the
off.
stare down before the
Hey,
races.
hey,
Oh, I couldn't
it's,
believe it.
it was almost Australian in its
Yeah.
execution, wasn't it? It was just, man, she just was so amazing. Then we just got gold after gold in the kayaking. I'm just going through these, man. I just could not believe this. Lisa Carrington. Oh, of course, Lydia Ko
Yep.
in the golf. I mean, and then Hamish Kerr at the track. We got to experience
Yeah.
the national anthem, the New Zealand national anthem, in the stadium.
Even though I did say Dame Lisa Carrington was just a machine, I think
Yeah,
Hamish Kerr was actually my overall highlight. He stuttered and stumbled through the
he did.
early rounds, and I thought, oh, here's another one, performs well at,
Yeah,
the World Cup events and
yeah.
and indoor championships and here we go. And then he made it over on the third jump for a low height, which he would be expected to get over.
Yeah.
And then just from there on, it was just a masterful performance. And to also turn down the opportunity of a shared
Oh,
gold medal,
and the way
both of
that that
them,
and the way that that was shared in America, they made it
yeah,
out that the
4
American
years
guy
ago.
was the one that. No, but in America this time, like the media over there said,
Mm,
because if they had have won that gold medal, they would have gone ahead of China on the gold medal table, and they
yeah.
basically said, "Oh, the American wanted to go for the gold, but it was actually the other way around, wasn't it? It was the Kiwi
Well,
guy that."
my understanding is both wanted to go for it.
I think that's cool. I think
There
that's
was a
cool.
comment from Hamish after the event, said, they got offered to share the medal, and he said,
Yeah,
I can't remember what the guy's name is,
yeah,
Sherman or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah, yeah.
And he said, Sherman and I looked at each other and just winked at each other and went, nah,
We're going for it.
we're going for it.
Yeah,
And they did, and Hamish came out on top, and it was
he did,
just
man.
fantastic.
And then he went for a little run and
Oh,
everything. Oh, it was great.
he
You
did a
know,
Man United victory lap.
oh, that was so brilliant. And then to hear the national anthem at the stadium, just so awesome. And then at the end, on the final point on the Olympics final medal table, we finished 11th overall. And if you take all the top 20 nations, we finished first per capita. So that'll do me, mate.
Quite right, quite right. And of course, there was some sadness, of course, during the games. Poor old Tom Walsh,
Oh yeah.
suffering the groin injury during his final, wasn't able
Yep.
to throw properly.
Oh, and our silver medal in the triathlon. I mean,
Triathlon, Hayden Wild,
that
yeah.
was he and the way he acted after he lost, you'd want to punch the guy in the face, but he puts his arm around him and helps him up. You're like, dude, what the guy would have just that would have been a killer for anyone. And the way he handled himself in that,
Yep.
there was a situation that most of us would just absolutely
I blame the
die in.
commentator on Hayden Wild
Oh,
losing that because
it
about
was,
600 meters to go. What does the
He's
commentator
absolutely
say?
got it.
Well,
Gold
Alex
medal.
Yee can only get silver now. He's not going to chase down Hayden Wild. Hayden Wild's got the gold in the bag. And I'm lying in bed watching it going, shut up.
There was a few commentating gaffes like that, even in the high jump. They didn't
Mm.
know what was happening there, did they? Either.
No.
So I thought, yeah, some of the commentary was interesting to say the least. I know there's a lot of sports to cover though. So overall, though, the Olympics, mate. I
Yep.
mean,
Oh, actually,
absolutely.
one more commentary gaff was
Yep.
early on. I think it might have been day 1 or day 2 of rowing.
Mm.
And because there's 2 kilometers, and at the 1 kilometer mark, he was commentating as though it was the finish.
Oh no!
Oh, and Slovenia have got up. They've got the goal.
They're still going.
And
Oh.
his commentator said, it's only halfway.
It's a Murray Walker. Oh, there he is,
Uh,
Damon. No, it's not him. Oh, it's someone else. Yes.
Yeah, he's quite right.
But
So, yeah,
overall,
great
mate,
Olympics. Absolutely
awesome.
fantastic.
Yeah.
But I said to Michelle, my wife, the other day, I think it was Sunday or Monday, I said, you know what, Michelle, all's right in the world again. And she said, why is that, Ian? I said, Premier League's back.
Premier League's back. I know what you're thinking, mate. Wasn't it great? Hey,
Yep.
First week of Premier League football, and Liverpool got up and got a result.
Yep. And Man United won the league already because they did a victory lap after their win against Fulham. Much
Scoring
to
a late
Berbatov's disgust. He
late
was
winner.
one of the pundits and sitting back in the studio, he's going, get off the field. Get off the field. It's only the first game of the season. Get off the field. Get in the dressing room.
It was just a stunning victory, 1-0. You know, I fell asleep in the first half.
From one of the new signings, Joshua Zirkzee.
Yes, it was a good finish, to be fair.
It was a very good finish.
Liverpool came out a bit slow in the first half and then just kicked into gear in the second half and started peppering. And I love the way Slot sort of made the change at halftime. I thought Klopp would never do anything like that. He was just like, nah, he's all business, isn't he, Mr. Slot? Yep. You don't want to stuff with him. We've sold now Liverpool. What have we done in the transfer business, mate? We've sold a bunch of players. People are soiling their nappies about it online, aren't they? They just we're selling all our players. The back we have an injury, and I'm like, just relax, far out. People are just so wound up about we haven't sold him. All these players we've sold hardly ever play for us.
Yeah.
So we're just collecting some money. We'll buy the players we want. I wasn't impressed with the Zubamendi thing. I mean, that pissed me off a bit that we didn't get him. But I wouldn't be surprised if we go back in for him maybe in January. I don't think he's that happy the way that the club treated him over there. I mean, maybe anyway.
Don't know.
We need a 6 and we need a left back, don't we? But we need a 6 who's going to play for us, and we need a left back that's going to play for us. For me, I mean, those are the two positions.
Joe Gomez seems to be a bit unsettled at the moment, so we may lose him. And if we do lose him, we have to get another centre back in before the deadline.
Definitely.
Still another week to go. And in true typical Liverpool fashion, nobody knows about any signings until they've about to happen or have happened. So we'll just have to wait and see on that front. Plenty of rumours around. Some quarters are talking about Adrian Rabiot. Who's I'm not a big fan.
What we have signed a Georgian goalkeeper though. Mamardashvili.
Word is he's going to go straight back to Valencia on loan.
That is fine with me. He's the best young keeper in the world. I mean, that's perfect. That will be proven in a couple of years to be a great signing because Alisson's not going to go on forever. I would say in a couple of years he's going to go either to Saudi Arabia or something else, and then we've got him perfect. I mean, play Valencia for a year, then he comes over here, then maybe he goes on loan for another year to Brighton or somewhere like that, and then he comes in and he's a ready-made replacement for Alisson. So that's a great sign. I just think just got to relax. We're playing great football. We had a really big squad anyway. Slot's got a different way of playing. He's playing players in different positions with different ways of playing, different methods of playing. He's playing that wide instead of a winger on the left. I mean, Gakpo is going to be perfect for that position, and he's more of an attacking, wide attacking midfielder position.
I've got one name for you. Ryan Gravenberch. You've openly admitted you're not a big fan.
No,
on the weekend, I thought he did all right, but he did. He did. I want to see him play 10 games in that position.
Absolutely. I think he could be. He could in a year or two. He could, prove me wrong, but I still haven't seen anything. I mean, look, he's great on the turn. He's an athletic, he's an elegant player, isn't he? But I just haven't seen enough in off the ball for him. He just doesn't fool me with confidence that he's going to stop attacks. And I think I've seen players run past him numerous times, and I just think physicality and just a little bit more nous. But man, he's got all the attributes. I've got nothing against him. I just think
if you remember back to this time last year, Klopp was saying over time he will become a really good defensive midfielder.
Absolutely.
So he's obviously seen something. Slot's obviously seen something in him. And obviously
Curtis Jones can play there too. We do have a big midfield.
And Slot seems to be playing a different formation than Klopp with the two.
The
holding
box
midfielders. Say two deep lying midfielders.
It's different because they're more playmakers because they play out from the back. So Klopp played with the one destroyer, sort of the Fabinho, and he plays with the box midfield with the two of them. So that they're sort of more playmakers. They receive the ball from deep and turn and look for the pass. McAllister's perfect for that, but you want someone next to him that can play a little bit more, like a little bit more defensively. And I just don't.
More mongrel.
It'll be interesting to see if we do go for a number 6, but they've said they're not going to, but I don't know whether to believe that. As far as at least we can pick like a match day sort of 18. What about Chelsea, man? They could pick a match day 40. I mean,
I was going to say match day 60.
It's unbelievable.
What is going on there?
Okay, this is the list of players that weren't in their match day squad for the first thing. I've got 23 players on this list that weren't in the matchday squad. Axel Disasi, Tosin Adebayo, Raheem Sterling, Trevor Chalobah, Chukwuemeka, Chilwell, Gallagher, James, Petrovic, Kasaidai, George, Achwapong, Washington, Kellyman, Gabriel, Bettinelli, Bergstrom, Arrizabalaga. They've got 8 keepers. Humphreys, Unjourn, Brozier, Fofana, and Lukaku. So that's 23 players, and most of them are good players. They're not shit players. What the hell? And they've just signed, haven't they? They've just signed João Felix, mate, Joel Felix, who is once again, nothing against the guy as a player, but they paid £20 million last year to loan him to take him on loan. He was a failure at Chelsea. He went back to Barcelona. They loaned him to Barcelona. He was a failure at Barcelona. So Chelsea decide to sell this week to buy him for €60 million plus, on £300,000 a week for 7 years on a 7-year contract.
Todd Burley's just got too much money.
Just what the hell? It's like just another luxury car.
How are they getting away with the FFP regulations?
I don't know, because they sell Gallagher. They were just desperate to sell Gallagher to offset that, and
Why
they put
would
people
you want
on.
To sell him though.
But because it's pure profit.
Last year.
It's pure profit. They just look at the books and go, well, we need another wide midfield. I just have no idea. I have no idea what they're doing. They need a striker. I thought at the beginning of the transfer thing, if they sell a few players and get a striker, that'll be a good transfer window. Once again, they've gone out and bought 12, 15 players. Yeah. They haven't bought a striker.
Before we move on to picking our winners, what's your views on the treatment of Raheem Sterling? I mean, I'm not a big Sterling fan after the way he treated Liverpool when he left there. But still, to do that to a senior player, strip him of his playing number for starters, to give it to a new signing from Wolves, and just to basically ignore him, it's pretty bad.
Well, look what they did with Gallagher. They sent him to Madrid, then they brought him back, then they sent him off. They don't give a shit about their players, where they come from or anything like that, mate. They are just pieces of meat for the entertainment, of the crowd. Although, and I know that Sterling must be frustrated and all that, but you went to Chelsea, mate. This is how they've always done it. It's a little bit more crazy at the moment, but it's Chelsea. I mean, you go there for that much money. He's still got like 4 or 5 years remaining on his contract. Yeah. They owe him millions and millions of pounds. So, and it is only one game. I sort of think, mate, it's one game. I mean, I suppose it is harsh, but to come out in the press, it's kind of, I don't know.
Now they've said they want to get rid of him permanently.
They have, even though Maresca at the end of the game said, "I love all my players." I don't think the manager's in control of any of the players coming in or going out.
No.
So
okay, time to pick our winners and losers for the season.
Yeah. Okay.
Who's top 4 through. Top 4 in order.
Top 4 in order.
Who's winning the league?
Okay. Who's winning the league? I'm going to say Man City will win the league. I know it's boring. It's a boring thing, but I just think they've got so much depth. They've just got Gundogan back. So long as Pep Guardiola stays there, if these charges come to fruition, it might all fall to bits, and they might, he might leave, and it might completely crumble. I'm hoping that will happen at some stage, but whether it happens this season, if it doesn't, they'll finish first. I'll say Liverpool will finish second. I think Arsenal are overrated. I think they reached their zenith last year. I think they haven't really. They've signed a good defender, but defense wasn't their problem last year. Goals were, and they haven't really signed a striker. So Arsenal for third for me. And then, I mean, what do you look at? You look at Spurs or Aston Villa, maybe. I wouldn't say Chelsea. I wouldn't say Man United. I just think they're both basket case clubs still. So probably Villa fourth, which is probably very close to what it was this year, right?
Yeah.
Well, last season.
I have actually gone for Arsenal to win it. I think.
Have you?
I think they'll do it this time.
Well, I hope you're wrong.
I'm seeing a different Kai Havertz this year.
Yeah.
And I think it's started at the Euros. He played.
He's not a striker.
He had a really good Euros, and he scored really good goal on the weekend.
He's not going to score 20, 25 goals, though.
No, he's probably not. But if they can keep Jesus fit, he'll pitch in with 15. Maybe. And Martinelli as well.
Martinelli, I rate him, but he had a poor season last year.
He did.
So there is somewhere that they could get better. And Saka's going to be Saka. He's just a great player. I mean, for sure. No, for sure. I mean, I do like. But I just think their weakness for me is their manager. I don't think he knows what the fuck he wants to do. I think, he wanted Saliba. He didn't want Saliba. He wants this player. He doesn't want. I want Havertz to play midfield. Now I want him up front. I want a left back. Oh, I bought this guy. Oh, no, I want the. I honestly think he's a bit of a myth. I think he's a bit of a Brendan Rodgers.
And to be honest, I'm really only picking them because I just can't stand the blue half of Manchester
Me
anymore.
neither. Me neither. But
So I just can't bring myself to say them. And
when you look at the,
I don't think can't see them doing it again. I just can't.
yeah, I hope.
Even with Gundogan back, I mean, he's 3 years older now than he was when he left.
Yeah.
You know, if Rodri plays just about every game, they've got a very good chance of winning, although they won on the weekend without him. So, oh yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
You almost sounded Scouse then. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I,
Arsenal to win it. Who's second then? You better
I
say Liverpool. I'm punching
no,
you in the nose. What?
no, I think we'll be third again.
You think
City will be
City's
second.
second?
And I actually think United will break into the top 4.
Ooh, do you?
Yeah, I know.
What
I think
makes you
they've made
confident?
some good signings.
We'll see. Their manager's got no idea either, though. Once again,
Well,
he's just a drip.
there is
He's a
that.
drongo.
And I think
He
the
probably
main reason
probably
I've
won't
got
be there.
them is they're the best of a bad bunch. Really, I
Yeah.
just think Villa
have improved. Their
but with
signings
Champions
have been
League
good.
first season in the Champions League, it's just
but their manager knows how to work all that out. I mean,
but
he's
when
done
you
that
look
before.
at other sides who have gone into the Champions League for the first time, look at Newcastle last year. Like they struggled big time after finishing an easy 4th the previous year.
Okay, well, I did the first lot, so let's go 5th to 7th then. Let's just do these the 3 other teams that will qualify for Europe.
Well, the other 3 would be Spurs, Newcastle, and Villa for me.
Okay, I'll probably go. Yeah, I'll go Spurs, Newcastle, and Man United. I mean, I was going to say Chelsea, but I can't.
Right.
I can't
Who's
blend
getting
myself.
relegated?
Okay, my relegation. This is last year. I know we both said Everton, and we didn't know they were going to get the points deducted, but they came close. I think they'll be okay this year. I think Ipswich will go down, unfortunately, because I like the style of football they play. I think they've got some good, and they've got a good manager. I think Ipswich will go down, though. I just don't think they've got enough. I think Leicester will probably just scrape it in because they've got Jamie Vardy. But if he can stay fit, I mean that's a difficult one. So my bottom 3, I'm going to go. Oh, it's so tough, man. Okay, I'm going to go Ipswich at the bottom, Southampton, and I'm going to go Forest.
We agree on 2 out of 3.
What are the other? Which is the one we don't agree on?
I think Ipswich will stay up.
Yeah, you could be right. I know a lot of people are saying
they've got a quality manager.
Yeah, they do.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's the next England manager.
Or the next Man United manager.
And I think they've got enough, and looks like they've just signed Armando Broja from Chelsea.
Yeah, they have, and he can do something if he's sort of given a chance.
I really like Amari Hutchinson.
Yeah,
I think he's a fantastic player.
Yeah,
another young player
awesome.
they signed from Chelsea.
He was awesome for them last year too in the championship. Wasn't he? Scored a bunch of goals.
McKenna will get the best out of Calvin Phillips.
Yeah.
I think he'll be fantastic for them.
Well, you've made a good argument. So who is in there then if it's not Ipswich?
It's Southampton, Forest, and Everton.
Beautiful.
They were awful on the weekend.
They were the worst team.
They were 100% awful, and I just can't think of any really, really decent players in their side apart from the centre back.
And they sold Anana, who was a good player. No, they are a poor team. But I
think they're going to be playing in their new stadium in the championship.
There has been some good trolling from them recently, though. They've just opened a shopping centre in England. There's a shopping centre called Liverpool 1, and Everton Football Club have opened a club shop there called Everton 2, so that the official address of the shop is called Everton 2 Liverpool 1.
Yeah.
I think that's
it is quality.
even though I hate Everton, but that's quite good. Yeah.
Right, moving on from football.
Yep.
Big announcement yesterday from the All Blacks.
Yeah,
Leon
there was.
McDonald has he quit or has he been fired or
Nah, he's been
come
pushed
to an
for sure.
agreement that
Oh well, they've. I think Razor was pretty honest. I think he was pretty honest with his comments. He just said we don't get on really. I mean,
well, I
it's
think they get on
well
as
they get
people.
on, yeah, but not they don't agree with the direction the team's going. So
Their rugby
I think that's
philosophy
as
is different.
that's as honest as you could possibly be, really. I mean,
Yeah.
what else are you supposed to say? I mean, oh no, we just other than lying to the public,
Mm.
that I think that's the best thing to say. We had disagreements about the vision of the team. There's got to be one boss, and if you've got disagreements in those sorts of areas, high, coaching performance areas. What was Liam McDonald's actual title?
Attack coach.
Okay. So how good was the attack in the first game against Argentina? Wasn't that great?
Pretty rubbish.
Was it? I wouldn't be surprised if last week they said, right, Leon, someone else has taken over the attack, and we just absolutely smoked them, and everyone went, Leon?
I also
you know,
think
I mean,
I also think we've seen the last of Mark Tellier as an All Black wing. Now that
probably.
McDonald's gone.
Really? You think
Yep.
so? Why is that?
He can't. He's got no defense.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But they said the same thing about Jonah.
Oh, yeah. I think Jonah had a few more attributes.
Maybe.
Than Tellier.
But Tellier is very slippery. He's a slippery character. He
Two of
scores
the three
lots of tries.
tries. Two of the three tries against Argentina
Went down his side. Yeah.
and also probably 2 or 3 tries in the tests against England were his fault.
Oh, we definitely look better with Caleb. I mean, I just think Caleb should be playing most weeks. I like Caleb Clark. I think he does it. Yeah, you can say that, but he does everything well. He does everything well. He's a solid citizen. I like Caleb Clark. He scored 2 tries last week. Also, regarding the All Blacks, though, mate, that is a big call, but I like the call. I do. I think that's more open and honest than the All Blacks in the past. When Foster needed help, he didn't really explain why coaches were coming in and going. He was just sort of like, well, we're the All Blacks. And I like it wasn't it interesting after we lost that test against Argentina how the boots started coming in for Razor straight away. I thought, it's just so typical. It's like, man, shit can happen, especially early on and I would rather lose a friendly to Argentina in the lead up in the World Cup, lead up to the next year in the World Cup, in the next couple of years. Those aren't important games. Yeah. So these are essentially trial games for Razor for when the big guys come knocking. So I love it.
How do you think we'll go in South Africa?
I think it'll be tight. I think we'll probably get beat, but I think he'll probably learn a few things,
Yep. I think it'll be one each.
One each? Yeah, could be. I hope so. It'll be tight. South Africa are playing some good rugby. I did see something online that I just want to bring your attention to just quickly, though. Someone brought up the number one rankings online about the number one rankings in rugby. And they said, you're completely biased being an All Black supporter. The Springboks are just as good. Total weeks at number one, New Zealand, 743 total weeks at number one. South Africa, 239. Ireland, 67. England, 40. Wales, 2. France, 1. 743 weeks. Most consecutive weeks, 509 consecutive weeks the All Blacks were number one for. And the biggest, the next one is 98 by South Africa. So I still think, regardless, South Africa being ranked number one at the moment and all that sort of thing, they have got a great side. I still think there's only one team that you can possibly call the winningest team in rugby.
Quite right. Anyway, we've still got a heck of a lot to get through.
We do.
So what we're going to do is we're going to put this podcast into 2 parts. So let's call this the end of part 1, and make sure you listen to the stuff we've still got to cover.
We got the Warriors.
Got
to do some analysis.
Black Caps contracts. People are opting in and opting out. There's some yachting thing going on in Barcelona. We'll talk about whether that's worth it or not.
A bit of baseball.
You got some baseball names in baseball that are just playing off the charts. And also any other little things that we can come up with before we start recording part 2. So we'll be back
Beautiful.
in a few moments with part 2.